粒扭出來多寶營養片，都透過指紋圖譜技術淘汰篩選，確保植物營養素品質卓越。呢個就係營養豐富嘅扭出來多寶營養片。
With Trivago's new interactive map, it's now even easier to find hotels close to your desired location. Simply select the hotel features you want, and that's how Trivago finds your ideal hotel for the best price. Hotel Trivago.
We each have our own way of enjoying the Victoria Harbourfront. We may also have different perspectives and ideas on enhancing this unique place. The Harbourfront Commission and the Development Bureau are now conducting the Phase 2 public engagement exercise for the proposed establishment of a Harbourfront Authority. Please take part and let us know your views.
What made the Alps?
The landscape of Europe has all the geological mysteries you can imagine.
What made the Mediterranean Sea disappear?
So the Europe of the future will be very, very different from the Europe of today.
Wednesday, Birth of Europe at 9:30 on Pearl. Next on In Vino Veritas, what does Grand Cru class mean? Find out Thursday night at 9:30.
Joint stock trading platform for Hong Kong and Shanghai to open on Monday. Court extends injunction against Occupy protesters and empowers police to take action. And leaders of China and Japan attempt to break the ice at APEC. Good evening and welcome. Hong Kong and Shanghai will link up their stock exchanges in a week's time, a move which analysts say could mean huge benefits for investors worldwide. Sources say the decision was reached during yesterday's meeting between President Xi Jinping and Chief Executive Lun Chenying. Evelina Lung reports.
Good news for traders. The long-awaited Hong Kong-Shanghai Stock Connect pilot program will kick off on November 17th. In a statement, the Securities and Futures Commission and the China Securities Regulatory Commission said they have finalized all necessary regulatory approvals and relevant regulatory operational arrangements for the program. The scheme will allow mainland investors to buy and sell shares on the Hong Kong stock market and allow local traders to do the same on the mainland. Hong Kong Stock Exchange called the scheme a major breakthrough in opening up the mainland's financial markets. It also said it was a milestone in the development of Hong Kong as a bridge between mainland and overseas investors. But it warned of a bumpy ride ahead.
Obviously, this is something very new. It has never ever been tried before, even anywhere in the world. So we are humbled by the fact this is new. And as much as we can prepare and get ourselves prepared, this is clearly something that we will work very hard to monitor. And we also ask for the market's patience, ask for market's tolerance and understanding.
Sources say the decision to launch this program comes after Chief Executive Lun Chenying submitted a report to Beijing stating he will ensure social order returns to normal and Hong Kong's rule of law is to be protected. Lun again reiterated these pledges during yesterday's meeting with President Xi Jinping on the sidelines of the APEC summit in Beijing. On the same day, the decision to start the program was announced. Evelyn Lang, TVB News.
Day 44 of the Occupy movement, and the High Court has now authorized police to arrest those who try to stop bailiffs from enforcing its extended injunction orders. The injunction orders that protesters remove barriers in Mong Kok and outside CITIC Tower in Admiralty. But as Stephanie Choi reports, some protesters continue to say they won't back down.
The High Court has extended interim injunction orders against protesters blocking access to CITIC Tower in Admiralty and those in certain areas of Mongkok, including the junction of Argyle Street and Nathan Road. It has also directed bailiffs to execute the injunction orders by removing obstacles from the road.
My client only wishes to have the road back to do business, and Hong Kong will be and it's a good place to live in and work. The Mongkok occupation adversely affects my client's business. The judgment today is to do justice.
We are very disappointed and somewhat angry of the court's decision. It seems that the court has followed the applicant's argument and virtually agree all the main points suggested by the applicant.
The court has authorized bailiffs to ask for assistance from the police as necessary. High Court Judge Thomas Au also said police officers may arrest or remove individuals who try to stop bailiffs from executing their duties. Authorizing the police to do so is necessary, the judge said, because recent events have shown that there is a real risk that the rule of law would be seriously undermined, as the injunctions have been openly disobeyed and flouted. He added that public figures have given protesters the incorrect impression that they need not comply with court orders until a hearing is held with all parties present. Mr. Justice Au said demonstrators should first comply with any court order, but seek to challenge and argue against that order in court. He stressed that since individuals who interfere with the bailiff's execution of his duties while aware of the court order would be in criminal contempt of the court, they are subject to possible arrest and imprisonment. The authorization of police, he said, confirms the police power and makes court orders clearer and fairer. Protesters we spoke to down in Admiralty seem unfazed by the judgment.
I don't think the injunction could actually get people away.
We're all prepared for any police arrest or actions.
After this is over, there may not be another opportunity. So I would say yes, it's worth the arrest.
Stephanie Choi, TVB News.
Meanwhile, the Hong Kong Federation of Students has sent an open letter to National People's Congress Standing Committee member Rita Fan, asking to arrange a meeting with top state officials in Beijing.
She would be capable of handling the current constitutional problem because she was one of the members who made the decision on 31 of August. So she has the responsibility for deliver Hong Kong people's message to Beijing, and he also has the power to call for emergency meeting of NPC and to draft motion and propose motion so as to resolve the current problem on the constitutional reform of Hong Kong.
Former Chief Executive Tung Chee-hwa has made another call today for protesters to end the occupation. It comes as he launched his new think tank today. Owen Fung reports.
In his opening speech, Tung identified political reform as one of the most pressing challenges Hong Kong currently faces. The ongoing Occupy movement, Tung said, has damaged the local economy and undermined the city's rule of law. The former chief executive stated that it's time for the occupation to end, while warning that if political reform fails to be implemented, it could be detrimental to Hong Kong.
Tung called on the students to come up with a more constructive solution, such as working with the government to find a way out of the crisis.
But he denied his think tank will be playing the role of an intermediary.
The students and the government has established an avenue of communication. So I would expect that our role is not in being an intermediary, because the mission of the foundation is I think you've read it. It's not playing such a political role as such.
Aside from political reform, Tung said his think tank will also strive to foster social mobility for young people and to cultivate individuals to enter politics. And in response to some suggestions that the think tank is a platform to prepare future chief executive candidates, Tung stressed that the focus of it is on Hong Kong's long-term development rather than who will become the city's next leader. A forum was held after the unveiling ceremony, and among those who delivered speeches was former Financial Secretary Anthony Leung, who is also an advisor to the think tank. Leung cited high property prices as one of the reasons for young people to take to the streets and join protests. The former Financial Secretary proposed a number of solutions to facilitate young people to gain a foothold in the property market. Leung also proposed the setting up of a fund to assist the city's youngsters in achieving upward mobility through entrepreneurship. And on political reform, Leung said effective governance is the central government's foremost concern. He also called on young people to give their support for universal suffrage in 2017. Owen Fung, TVB News.
U.S. President Barack Obama says his priority when it comes to pro-democracy protests in Hong Kong is to ensure violence is avoided. Obama made the remarks on the first day of his visit to Beijing for the APEC summit. He noted China's relationship with Hong Kong has historically been complicated. Still in the capital, President Xi Jinping and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe sat down for a face-to-face meeting in Beijing today amid frosty relations between the two countries. The ice-breaking session was aimed at dialing down long-running tensions ahead of the APEC summit tomorrow. Ever-complicated relations between China and Japan have recently seen tensions escalate over history and territory. So a lot of hope was riding on the first meeting between the two countries' leaders since they took office. China's foreign ministry said that President Xi Jinping urged Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe to do more to help build trust between Japan and its neighbors and help safeguard the region's peace and stability. Abe called the meeting a first step towards repairing frayed bilateral ties. He said that the peaceful development of China is an opportunity for Japan. Abe also said the two sides agreed to start preparation for a maritime crisis mechanism. They have agreed to improve ties and are signaling a willingness to set aside for now differences over hot-button issues. Relations between China and Japan have grown increasingly strained over maritime territorial claims, a move by Japan to reinterpret its pacifist constitution, and Tokyo's perceived insensitivity to its wartime history. Meanwhile, U.S. President Barack Obama touched down in Beijing today on the first leg of an 8-day Asia tour. Washington is pushing a free trade agreement in the Asia-Pacific known as the Trans-Pacific Partnership, for which Obama says he sees momentum building. But the TPP does not include China, which is promoting a separate trade liberalization framework called the Free Trade Area of the Asia-Pacific. Also today, Obama announced a new streamlined visa agreement between the two countries.
Under the current arrangement, visas between our two countries last for only 1 year. Under the new arrangement, student and exchange visas will be extended to 5 years. Business and tourist visas will be extended to 10 years.
On Tuesday, Obama is expected to press Xi over increasingly assertive territorial behavior and cybersecurity. But his administration is also hoping for improved cooperation with China on regional and global problems. To Berlin, where more than 1 million Germans and people from around the world celebrated the 25th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. Here's Sonia Artero.
European leaders old and new attended the 25th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. Among the distinguished guests was former Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev, who was instrumental in ending the Cold War. It was in 1987 when then U.S. President Ronald Reagan delivered an historical speech near the Brandenburg Gate. In it, he challenged Gorbachev to destroy the symbol of communist oppression by tearing down the Berlin Wall.
Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Mikhail Gorbachev.
For his role in the wall's demise, Gorbachev received a standing ovation. The Berlin Wall was built in 1961 to stop East Germans fleeing to the West. At least 138 people were killed trying to escape. Others were captured and jailed. On the night of November 9th,